Hello there. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, which a lot of you are, I absolutely appreciate you subscribing. And if you're not new here, hello again. I never introduced myself when I started making videos. My name is Missy DePuro. I was a costume designer and a set designer in New York City and LA and everywhere in between for 10 years. I am a self-taught designer. I love making clothes. I love making my own clothes out of thrifted items. You might be here because of this coat that I just made. I had an impromptu trip to New York City and I needed a coat and it was only in the 20s and 30s. I just got back. I have a little short about it. Anyway, I made this coat out of a comforter and my old duvet cover. I was very happy and thrilled and shocked that it worked out so well. As I am with all of my projects, you might wonder why I'm always so surprised or reactions are so strong with when I make something. It's because I am self-taught. And even though I worked in film, a lot of the things you're doing is buying and thrifting and sourcing stuff. You're not making it, you're not building it yourself. I didn't get to make a lot. I did put a lot of my own clothing on my actors, which is a lot of fun because I didn't have to get clearance from anyone because I made it myself. But that aside, what am I wearing and why am I wearing it right now? I actually live in Florida and now I actually have a trip to Cabo coming up. I made this outfit out of curtains to go to Cabo and I do intend to wear it. But there's also another event that I need to go to and I was told the color scheme, and if you want to see, I'm going to put it up right here what the color scheme is. I actually had a beautiful sequin jumper that I wanted to wear, but then I was informed at the end of the night we all jump in the pool and I was told that I can't jump in the pool in sequins. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta go and make something else. One other fun fact about me, the reason I make my own clothes and what actually started my whole career in film, actually, I worked for a magazine when I lived in Austin, Texas. I was a senior graphic designer because I started my life as a graphic designer and then I moved into film. I worked for a fashion magazine and we would have an event page of all the events that we took pictures of all the celebrities. I had to go last minute to this award ceremony for Texas actors and directors and screenwriters. And this is before I even started working in film. And it was last minute and I didn't have anything to wear. So I went to the store and I found this crazy Diane von Furstenberg dress that was a short baby doll dress with a giant bow and it was backless and it had these giant polka dots on it. And I thought, wow, this thing is phenomenal. I go to this event. It was a dinner. There was like 18 or so tables. And lo and behold, someone else was wearing my dress. And she was, in fact, wearing it better. 7,000 feet tall and just long red hair. And I looked great, but she looked phenomenal in the same dress. I mean, it was such an embarrassment. I mean, and again, I was there to take photos and interview people, and I was just devastated and so embarrassing because, you know, I'm not trying to make a spectacle of myself. So what did I do? I started making my own clothes. I started off by just going to Goodwill and just altering things. And then I got more confidence and I would go to Joann's and I would grab fabric and I would make things. But I always just want to make it my own. I don't want to have anybody else wearing the same thing because that devastated my whole life. And I always thought, you know, if I ever won an award for costume design, oh, wouldn't that be such a great story to tell? Anyway, now I'm just here in my apartment making stuff to go to places and I love doing it and I love that you're here and I hope that, you know, you enjoy what I do. And so without further ado, I have this old curtain hanging around in my bin of fabric or tablecloth, whatever it is. I've made something out of this before. There's a hole in it, but there's still plenty of fabric. I mean, it's a bit of a cheesy looking pattern. It's not something I normally would make something out of. I say that about everything. I mean, I'm wearing a curtain after all. So let's go ahead and just discuss this one. It's going to be cooler at night. It's going to be on the ocean. And I actually have the opportunity to put sleeves on my own body, which is really exciting because I'm always scared I'm going to be freezing cold everywhere I go. So I can actually make something with sleeves, possibly with legs. So when I jump in the pool, everything just stays secure. But I'm thinking leaning towards a dress, like a short dress with puffy sleeves or something. I just want to be cute and comfy and able to jump in the pool. Did I mention that we're jumping in a pool? I think I did. We'll see if I jump in the pool. But yeah, I really don't have any idea what I'm going to make. So I think what I need to do is go to my bins and check out my patterns and get some inspiration. Would you like to come with me and watch me build this out so I can wear it in a couple of days? I hope you do. I'm so grateful for all of you that are here and watching, and I appreciate it so much. So let's let's get started. And here we are back at my second favorite spot when I'm making stuff. My bins, as I said, I have patterns from the 30s and 40s, all the way up to most likely the 2019s. I haven't really purchased a lot of patterns since moving to Florida. And now that Joann Fabrics no longer exists, I probably won't be buying more patterns. I still like to go to thrift stores and find them. They're no longer in Goodwill. I'm really sad. I used to go to Goodwills all over the country and find patterns, and now it's you're lucky to find a pattern anywhere. So it's mostly just Marketplace. If you're looking for patterns, that's where I go. Just people looking to get rid of their grandmother's supply of patterns. The other reason I love having patterns designing film is because it's like a time capsule of what's truly going on at that time.
When I went through these, I actually kind of just gravitated towards things that happened to be the same type of fabric and a lot of them gold, but I wasn't that inspired at the end by what I pulled.
This is actually kind of a fun situation that I'm making this dress for. I've been discussing that I make movies. When you get a script and you're reading the script and you're looking at the character, you're looking at the setting, the time of day, the location, the color scheme, and what's going to happen in the scene. Well, in this particular scene, the girl's going to be in Mexico. It's going to be at night. It's going to be down by the water. It's an award ceremony, drinking and dancing. And at the end of the night, everyone's going to jump in the pool. That's crazy, right? If I was working on this film, I'd be most likely buying the costume and making sure it was brand new because I need to find a dress that can jump in a pool because there's going to be many takes. Well, guess what? I don't have any takes going on for this one. It's just a one and done. But the fabric is still really important because it's got to be durable enough and the right fabric to jump in a pool, but also to look good at an award ceremony. It's a party dress. It's just got to be a fun party dress. I just was all over the place because, again, I have no idea what I want to make. And I was kind of trying to lean towards sleeves. But the ones that I have, like, I really like the neck on that middle one and the gold one, but you know, it's a little dowdy with the sleeves, and I don't know. I'm not looking for it to look like that. I love this one because it's like straight up 1990. This is a disgusting pattern. I think this is hilarious. But I was looking at the sleeves and I was just looking to see if I could take away anything from that. Actual sleeves. I started looking at actual sleeves. And then some dresses made out of a very similar fabric that I thought, you know, maybe those would be cute. And then that one again is the same color, etc. I've made this dress. In fact, it's the one that's sitting on my dress form right now. There, I made a version of that for a gala that I went to. And I like the body of that. And I like the color because it's the same color. So I kind of love that. As I said before, maybe I should make a jumper. And I really like this one. I like that a lot because the pattern on it is really big and loud, and my pattern is kind of loud because I mean it's all tone on tone, but it's still kind of a bigger pattern. I just like how it's such a big full outfit, and the bow is really cool. No sleeves, but it is pants, and you know you can do one or the other and still be nice and warm. And I'll wear a shawl with this. I think this would be great with a shawl, and I feel like this is just the right amount of fun and flair, party, dance the night away. After all of that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and try this one. I don't really know what I'm getting into, and that's always the fun of it, so let's go make it. I don't think I want to make pockets because I think I would have a tendency to want to put my phone in my pocket, and if I'm drinking and I'm about to jump in a pool, let's go ahead and not do pockets. I guess I made a 12 last time I made this because I've made it before, and seems roomy enough. It's all here. I'm gonna iron it out and then lay it out and we'll go from there. Having cut it into this fabric before and it having that one random seam in there, it was a little bit tricky because I had to do some pattern pieces double layer, some pieces single layer, and one piece got stuck in the seam itself, and that's okay. I had to adjust for it later on. I will say though, these pattern pieces, some of them would say how many pieces are cut out and others just said nothing at all, and so that also led to my having to make new decisions because I don't read patterns that well. I don't study them that much. And once again, I'm using every little bit of fabric that I have available to me. We got super shiny on this side and less shiny on that side. I know, doesn't look like it. So this side has the flowers are the flat, non-shiny surface, and this one, flowers are not visible and the whole thing is shiny. So you know, it's a night event. How about we just go shiny, shiny?
Since I didn't have enough of the gold fabric to make it the lining on the inside, this is what I chose that's touching my skin. One of my favorite things to do is color match. You know, those guys that they do the paint, slaps the paint on the thing and then color matches skin and everything else. I just always love, I mean, this is gold, right? But this is kind of a taupe color. And it is truly perfect match. Gold would be not a perfect match, but I don't know. I find it fascinating. I love color matching. So I did a lot of talking in this particular project and not a lot of sewing yet. So here's some sped up version of what I'm doing. I have to put some gathering stitches around the shoulder on both the front and back. And I mentioned before that I had to figure out what I'm going to use to line this entire piece, this halter top slash belt. And I'm going to use that pink fabric for the inside that's touching my skin, but then the inside of the belt, I honestly had no idea what color I was going to use. I was not feeling confident with the remnants that I have on hand. You're going to see here in a second, I start to go through my band and just kind of look around after I do some yoga. And so I didn't have enough of that one. I had a rust, that was okay. And another pink. Light pink, orange, skin tone, silver. Well, now I have a weird decision to make. This needed me to have this thing lined all the way, and I do not have enough of the gold fabric to line it, the belt part. And so this front part, I'm using this fabric. It's very thin, but this will be on my skin. It's gonna be nice and soft, and you're never gonna see it, and that's fine. And then I'll cut another piece because that wraps around the body. And so that piece I'll also cut out of that same pinkish color, it's kind of skin tone. Now I have a problem of what do I back this belt with? And honestly, I'm not loving anything that I have in my world here. They're all feeling really strange. I have this, which is again very thin, and I also don't have enough of this to make the belt. So we're going into a whole nother colorway. So now I'm looking at this going, how crazy is this? If that's the inside of the belt, because you're gonna see it a little bit in gold and pink. Ooh, feels even a little more tacky than even what I was doing originally. One of the only fabrics I have left to work with. Boy, it's a weird idea. Wish I had more of this belt fabric. I don't know. It's a little crazy, but let's give it a shot. I don't have any other options. I don't really know what else to do. And maybe when the belt is tied, you're not really going to see that pink all that much. I hope. I really wish I had something fun to line it with. Let's look at her one more time. Let's see. Oh, and the belt ties up in the front. I was thinking it tied up in the back. I forgot. So if it's tied up in the front, yeah, that's just going to kind of catch actually, I have an idea. I can't use the sequins for the outside of the dress, but what if I use it on the inside? Let me grab my sequin fabric. Maybe that's the answer. I'm kind of, because it's actually a very soft fabric, and that's what, wouldn't I have been pretty and the sparkly, but okay. But if I use this side of it, those sequins are not falling off. And that's just going to be the inside here. And it'll still be sparkly. And you're not technically going to see it. Oh, I like that idea. I mean, the colors don't match that great. But again, I'm not looking for you to see that. But if you do catch some of it, you're not going to be like, what is that? I think this is still the right answer for my chest and for my back piece. And then inside of a sparkle. Oh, I'm way happier with that as my option. In the camera, this color is so much harsher, but in person, it just is skin toned and sparkly. I'm actually really kind of excited about that. There's no way any of these are going to fall out because I'm going to make sure it's all the way stitched. But if I were to make this the outside of a dress, that'd be ridiculous because you can see all the lines in there. So yay, that's going to be what I'm doing because I hated that pink a lot. So this is going to stitch up really fast once I'm done with this. All these lining pieces because it's just the front and back of the pants and then that thing wraps around and ties up. So all right, we're getting right back to it. Although now I'm going to have sequins on my floor for the rest of the year. I really am going to now have sequins all over my floor. That dress I have on the side, that's the shell pattern next to my coat. I'm still finding sequins from that thing in my bathtub, on my bed, everywhere. All right, first glance. I think it's going to be a really pretty outfit. I'm not sure it matches my skin tone.
So I just determined that this is technically the inside fabric for this particular project because I have a seam in this one because I had to have a seam somewhere because I was running out of fabric. But that's okay. I'm just going to rip this seam and I'm going to go ahead and restitch it on the inside. So that's no big deal. But I'm glad this is the only piece that's a problem for. Oh, the other thing that's really cool, I don't know why this thing has M's. M's for Missy. Who's to say if that's really an M, but I decided it is. And the cool thing is I can look for the shiny M right side up to know which piece I'm putting together, which is really cool because otherwise this gets kind of tiresome with all the different shapes and I can just easily do that. So those are my latest and greatest finds. I'm going to fix this hem. I'm going to put this piece to that piece, flip it around, and then do the inside and then make it a thing and get in there.
Little Grecian goddessy, costumey. Is it gonna be cute? Oh, who's to say? Now, of course, if I was making this for an actor or actress in a film, I would be sure that the color of the lookbook does actually, in fact, match the color tone of their skin and not make them look sickly, like I'm a little bit worried this is gonna make me look.
Okay, it's day 2, and now I gotta put together these panels. I just gotta attach the liners to the outside so then I could get these pants made and get on with my day.
You know, it doesn't matter how long you've been sewing, you'll always keep learning, and I'm so happy. My last project actually taught me that because of all the different surfaces that I had to pin together here, that lots and lots of pins was going to help me get this done. And I love that. I love learning things all the time.
That's fun. I'm really glad that this is the part that's close to my body, and I'm really, really excited that that's the inside. It's just kind of shimmery. We'll see what this looks like when it becomes a big old bow. And like I said, when it's done, it's gonna match the theme. I'm gonna look like a statue. But I love it. So let's make the other one. After I made the other one, I stitch up the pants, and now it is actually time to get to work. There's a lot of work here to be done. I mean, there's no forgiveness. And this pattern gives me a fresh belly. Don't love that. So we'll just pull them up higher so it just gives it more chance to not look like a belly. Oh, but it's going to be where it's going to be tied up anyways. It's going to be on the beach, so I don't want to wear heels, so I'm going to be wearing sandals. So I'm going to go ahead and make these not too much longer than that. So I think that's pretty perfect. The height. Okay. Figure out which one this is. I do feel a little bit costumed up and also like I'm being given out as the award. I'm the statuess. Okay, so it's gonna be like this. It's kind of fun being just down like that. I mean, that's honestly where the fun begins. You can make these go anywhere you want. Make them whatever they want to be. But let's try the original. Okay. This is a pattern where I wonder if I should have made a much smaller size. Although that dress does look like it overwhelms her a little bit. This is overwhelming. Ooh, that's a lot of fabric. All right, this is crazy. Too much. This might be one where I have to fake the bow and just have it attached to the front because this is feeling like just so much fabric. This is not a present I want to unwrap. This is terrible. Okay, we gotta rethink this. So far this part's fine. And if this is attached just to the front and I have a zipper in the back, this feels pretty done. I don't know why it wanted me to do something else there. So I gotta think on this here. So this is the good stuff though. This is where you finesse it and you make it your thing and it's gonna work out. Trust the process. I always say it and I always have to remind myself to believe it. Because right now this looks terrible, but it won't look terrible. It usually doesn't. I'll find the way. Hi, it's day 3. Okay, so here's where we're at. I think we're finally getting somewhere. I had to reassess how much fabric I had on my body. Because, I mean, you might already have figured it out, but I didn't know at the time that this brocade fabric was going to be so thick. And I mean, obviously by adding the sequins on the inside there, that thickness too. This bow is like obscene, and I had so much of it. What I actually did, because this also was, the height ratio was really bad because I have a very short torso, and so having this piece plus a back piece plus all of this, I was completely overwhelmed with fabric, as you saw. So what I actually did, I took the shoulder seam that was supposed to be up here, and that's what I stitched down into the pants. And believe it or not, because this is so unforgiving, when I actually tuck this fabric back in, because I thought I was going to cut this fabric out, but when I tuck it back in, it actually gives me a whole nother layer to flatten out my belly. I know I don't have a lot of belly, but the belly that I do have was shown right on through, and now it's nice and flat because there's an extra, like, I don't know, half an inch of fabric in there, padding. So that works out. Now I have much less fabric here. It's way more streamlined. And so when I wrap this around, all I have to do now is just tie it and flip it over, and then that's done. It's a little bit tricky here. Gonna have to just do some internal work to keep the girls in place, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, it's gonna wrap around my back just fine. And this particular jumper was supposed to have elastic in here, and I figured out right away that the elastic was going to just look bunchy and look bad. So I just went ahead and threw a zipper in there, and I took it in on the sides. And now I have a nice little peekaboo for my tattoo. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish this off by cleaning this up, give my little dragon a little bit more breathing room, the bottom hem. And then I think I'm done. I mean, I think it's actually elegant looking. It's going to be warm. I do believe I'm going to be warm because this is a lot of fabric. And although my arms might be a little bit cool, I feel this is really nice. And so I'm going to finish it up. Then we'll do a reveal, and that'll be the end of it. So that's where we're at. So I just went ahead and made sure that the seams are all clean on the pants. I feel really good about them. They fit really great. Just have to now take this down, and then I'll just stitch it under, and getting there.
The very last step was to make sure that the bottom hem was secure and wasn't puckering anywhere. I just flipped it under maybe half an inch.
All right, well, that wraps this up. I put the ribbon on the inside there. I think it actually turned out to be a really great color combination. If you see this when my legs are swinging from the inside, you know, you're not going to think anything of it, and it's going to stop it from fraying. This would be a good spot and opportunity for me to use my serger, because this stuff is going to just fray like crazy, but I'm only wearing this one night. I'm going to be ruining it most likely, and my serger's on the fritz. So luckily, I don't have to worry about it. It really did feel like making a costume for a film. It was a lot of fun to make. So let's put this on, shall we? Let's transition this, shall we? Here it is. Isn't this fun? At the end of the day, it turned out. I'm really happy with it. I love my little sparkle on here, just a little bit of shimmer. And I love that my tattoo is visible. I didn't actually expect that when I was making this. I think the length is perfect, so I can actually just show off my shimmery sandals. And I feel very secure in this. I feel secure. I feel like I can dance. Eat. I can actually just tighten it up the more I fill up. And then I have a nice little buffer here. And then, you know, I had that extra piece down here, so it's just gonna glide off my belly anyway. Well, I did it. I made something. I hope I didn't hit the objective too hard by actually making exactly the same color scheme jumper that was on the lookbook. I follow what the director tells me, and that's what I saw. So we'll see what everyone else is wearing, but I can promise you they're not wearing this. And if they are, then I'm in a whole different multiverse and we need to talk. But I will post all about Cabo. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time.